Hey everyone, welcome to another Open Cluster Management Community Meetings. Today is June the 16th, 2023. We have two topics on the agenda. The first one being an update on our code consolidation on the repo OCM. And then we're going to do a recap on our 0.11.0 release. So Qzheng or Shujiao, please feel free to take it away. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, I can share my screen. Let me share. Okay. Yeah, so as you know that we have a issue that we want to consolidate several repos into one repos that involves the registration work and placement, and part of the coding the add-on management. So this is a previous issue that I mentioned. So we have done a lot of work with that. So as you can see here in the main OCM repo, that we have basically put the registration, placement, and work in this repo, and also the registration operator. So they are in a separated directory. In each one there is kind of the original code in the previous repo. And also we have a new reorganized the task part, like previously for each repo there is integration task and E2E task. So right now we merge all the tasks together in the integration. These are still separated by the different repos. So in each sub component there will be a separated integration task. And to run the integration test altogether, you can create, you basically run the test integration, and that is mainly will call each test integration for each sub component. So you also can run the integration test for a certain sub component here. But for the E2E test, it's a bit different. We merge all the E2E tests in the previous component into one single E2E test. There are some refactors here to ensure that all the E2E is started when we will first start the operator, and then we will execute the E2E. So it can make sure that all the component is started before we run the E2E. It can certainly provide more thorough E2E coverage for now. And also we have several additional GitHub actions in the workflow. So as you can see, there is still E2E test. So for the doc only actions, that means that for any PRs that only involves the solution troubleshooting and assets assets directory, because it's purely E2E docs, we will bypass all the tasks, including the build and the E2E and the integration. So that's ensure that for the doc related PR, the check will be faster than a code related PR. And also there's another action called PR verify. It is something we have learned from some other project like KCP and CodeBuilder project. We are utilizing CodeBuilder GitHub actions to organize PR request. Together there is a PR template. So when for now, if there is a PR, we we require that there is some certain titles to be set in the PR. For example, if it's a doc PR, you need to set a docs or certain icons on the beginning of the title of this PR. And there are the GitHub actions here will, for example, for this PR, there you need to put an icon here to indicate that's a bug. And there will be a PR verify check to ensure that the PR title is correct. So that's something that we should consider. We need to pay attention when we create a PR. Another thing that is we also add the code coverage actions. Let me see this one. Yeah, so there's a code coverage actions in this repo that will be integrated with the code cow. And so you can see that there is a code cow report for each PR. I think that's all. The only another thing is for the original repo, like registration. We have add a note at the beginning of the README saying that all the PR should be put into the OCM repo. For the release branch things, it still will you can still fix the bugs in the release branch, but all the PRs in the main branch for these repos, like registration work placement and registration operator, will not be merged. All these PRs on the main branch need to be pushed into the OCM repos for now. Okay, I think that's all. Xuezhao, do you have anything that you want to mention?
Oh, no, it's great. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, any other questions?
We had a community member that asked, is this work, the OCM repo consolidation, is it all completed? And does it have any impact to functionality at all?
No, I don't think there's I think it's almost completed. There's one missing part is that we will also move some code from the add-on framework to here to this repo that also only involves the add-on manager part. That part has not been completed, but for all the registration placement work and the operators, that all this part has been finished. I think the function is not impacted, mainly because we have moved all the E2E tasks into this repo, and there's still some flaky that we need to resolve. But in general, the task is passed for all the things, and we didn't change any image. So even with this repos, we still build the original image as before. The only thing is that from we stopped actions to build the image from the previous repo. All the images is starting to build and push from this repo. In the next step, we probably will consider another action to create a consolidated binary, like a single image that can run as agent and controller, but that's that also will not impact the current images.
Thank you, Kijun.
No problem. Oh, just one thing to mention is that thanks for Xuezhao's practice. So as you can see, the commit in the previous repo is all merged here, so you still can track all the commit histories in this repo, even though the commit was happened before, like in the other repos.
That's why we're magical.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, then I will stop sharing.
Thank you, Ficheng. Thank you, Shuja. That was great. I'm gonna share my screen now. And then we're gonna go through the v0.11 v0.11.0 release summary. So as you know, we released this release a few weeks ago, and this is just gonna be a quick recap on what we've done in this release. So these are some of the key features that we done in this release, and this is just a quick highlight. We improve our multi-cluster standalone control plane. There was some add-on install strategy and rolling upgrade enhancement. Well, I mean, this is the new install strategy. And then we have the new manifest work replica set, the auto approved cluster registration, and then we have improved the structure value feedback on the manifest work, something the community asked for a long time. And we enhanced the policy integration with Gatekeeper, and we done a few policy template enhancements. We also enhanced the Argo CD pool integration a little bit. So in these key for these key features, as I go through them, the developer that is mostly working on them will go through some of the highlights. So Changlin, do you want to go first regarding the multi-cluster standalone control plane overview?
Okay, yeah, thank you, Mike. So for the multi-cluster standalone control plane, from name, we can say that our goal is to bring the OCM to be running everywhere, and also we can have our control plane to be running in multiple instances in a single cluster. So from the diagram, we can say that for this control plane, we have built in some customized Kube API server or Kube controller, and also embedded our controller in a single binary. We include the registration, class lead, and placement, so it can provide the Kube API server to be accessed through the route, through the load balance service, etc. So currently, we can use the Helm chart to deploy this multi-class control plane, or you can just start this control plane binary in a system service. And yeah, Mike, I think that we can go to next page. Okay, thank you. So right now, when you want to join a managed cluster to this control plane, we can still use the class ADM join dash singleton to join a managed cluster to this control plane. And we also can use the control plane to manage the hosting cluster by the control plane itself. And we can delegate the user authentication to control the control plane authentication and authorization. And yeah, and for the control plane, we enable the embedded etcd by default. And then also we provide the external shared etcd. That means we can start a shared etcd, and then multiple control plane can share the same etcd. And we provide the auto-generate the certificate, so you just can use a single command to start the control plane without configure anything. It is simple and easy to be using and to have a try. So we encourage the community user to have a try and provide the feedback. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Changlin. Next up, Queen Hao.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Yeah. Next is about the add-on parts. So in this release, we made some changes for the add-on installation and upgrade. First is we introduce a new component called add-on manager. This new component will handle the add-on installation and upgrades. Second is that we make some change to the current cluster management add-on and manage cluster add-on API. And for now, the user can specify the installation and upgrade strategy in the cluster management add-on. For the installation, you can now either install your add-on on all the clusters, or you can reference a placement so that your add-on can now be installed on a group of clusters. And for upgrades, it now supports you can do rolling upgrade on your add-ons. And also it can support you do some canary upgrade on a subset of your clusters. You can do some testing, then you can upgrade the rest of your add-ons. This is experimental features and is feature gated. And Mike, I think I have two links. Could you help to open it? You need to exit the full screen. I paste the link. You need to exit the yeah. We update our doc for both the add-on users and the developers. Could you help open the first link?
This is the first link or this is the second link?
Both of the two links.
Yep, I got both of them. This is the first one, I think. Is it not?
It's not showing.
Yeah, it's not showing.
Oh, it's not showing. Okay, I got it. Can you guys see?
Yeah. So first for the add-on users, you can go to the concept in the add-on page. As a but in this section, we add some steps to show you how you can enable your add-on by the install strategy, including how you can define your YAML and how you can open the feature gate. Yeah, there is step-by-step guide. And another link is about the developer guide for the add-on developers. We have a new section highlight the new feature is managing the add-on lifecycle by add-on manager. There is also step-by-step guide show you how you need to modify your add-on to let it support install strategy and upgrade strategy. If you go to the bottom, yeah, there is some step-by-step guide. You need to update your Go mode and make some code change in your add-on. And also we have a annotation in the CMA to claim that you want your add-on to be managed by this new component add-on manager. Okay, that's all for my parts.
Thank you, Kunal, and sorry about the glitch. Next is the manifest work replica set API. So, Qzhang, do you want to just go over it briefly?
Okay, yeah. So this one is a new API that we are introduced. It's in the alpha stage. The main use case for this API is that you can basically treat it as orchestration API above the manifest work. So you can define a manifest work replica set in a namespace, in the same namespace with a certain set of the cluster sets spanning, and then create a placement in the same namespace, and you can reference the manifest replica set with that placement. So the controllers on the hub side will replicate the manifest work based on the manifest work replica set to multiple clusters. And when the decision is changed, the related manifest work will also be updated based on the different decision placement, based on the clusters in the different placement decisions. So we have a cluster admin command line that you can use to try that feature. So, and then also this one is feature gated. So you need to enable the feature gate on the cluster manager to start the manifest work replica set controllers to use that. And yeah. And this one?
Yes, I think you have to cover this one and probably the next
okay.
one as well. Sorry.
Okay, this is also an experimental feature. So previously, as you know, that when we try to approve we have the kind of a double opting mechanism. Like when you try to register a cluster, you need to set a join command to execute the join command on the manage cluster, and then there will be a CSR created on hub cluster, and you need to manually accept and manage clusters accept field. Then the manage cluster will be registered to the hub. But there was in some cases that you are actually in a fully trusted network, so you want to simplify the process. So in that way, you can basically try to do a different thing, like you can kind of enable the feature of auto proof, and you can specify a certain username or say a list of user ID that you think when the cluster is registered with this user ID, this cluster can be auto approved. So with that, you don't need another additional step to accept the cluster and approve the clusters on the hub side after the cluster is registered. So, but we are not sure whether this is any security hole there, but I mean, this is still an experiment feature, so it is feature gated only for users that really know, ensure that they are in a very secure environment, and they can confirm they know that what a whole process looks like, and then they can try these features. Yeah, and the last one is about manifest works feedbacks. So previously we only can return the feedbacks things like the scalar value, like int, a Boolean value, or a string. But there are many use cases like we want to return a more complicated structure, like the conditions as here, or a list of the items. But we cannot support before. So in this release, we add a default. So we add a feature that if you can basically return a more structured result as a JSON string. So it is, but the size of the JSON string is limited as just 1 KB. But it can help you to return some kind of more complicated things that JSON path cannot support. Anyway, so this one is feature gated also. You need to enable that features on the classlet to use that. Yeah, I think that's all.
Thank you, Qicheng. Patrick?
Yeah, so I'm here on behalf of the policy SIG. but for the enhanced policy integration with Gatekeeper, previously you would require two policies, one to keep track of the status of Gatekeeper and one to keep track of the status of the results of your Gatekeeper constraints. That's now been integrated, so you just need the one configuration policy. As a result of this, we're able to get more detailed information from the results of those Gatekeeper audits, and those audits are then synced back to the hub. Would like to note a prerequisite for this is, of course, Gatekeeper being installed in the environment. Next slide, please. And so for the policy template enhancements, added a lookup of objects by label, and there are new functions for the policy templates, copy secret data and copy config map data. If you've previously worked with policy templates, you might know that when you wanted to copy a secret or copy a config map, you needed to enumerate every field in that secret or config map. Now you just have these template functions and it copies the whole secret or config map without needing to enumerate each field explicitly. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. And finally, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the enhanced Argo CD pool integration. So in the first version of the Argo CD pool integration, we mainly rely on the manifest work feedback to get the overall status of the Argo CD application that was deployed on the managed cluster. So that will mean that we're able to see on the hub cluster the application health and the sync health of the application. But in this new release, we added a aggregation controller and the multi-cluster application set report. What that does is it'll aggregate the application resource deploy on the managed clusters and gather their statuses, and then gather them all back and bring it all back into the hub cluster, so that you have a unified view of all the resources that deploy through the Argo CD pool models on the hub clusters. So with that, that was just a few highlights of the major highlights of our v0.11.0 release. Are there any questions or comments? If not, Qjang, do you have any last words regarding the community or anything?
No, I think, yeah, I think the only thing that I think there's a lot of features that in the 0.11 that has been created, and we are still having more progress on that. For example, for the rolling out part, we are trying to build a common rolling out API that can apply to both policy, manifest work, replica set, and add-on. So there are still ongoing progress on the existing things. So I'm quite excited by this release, and I'm looking forward like the more work that is being done in the future.
I completely agree. Thank you so much, Qjang. And the manifest work replica set has been quite useful too. We had a new participant in the community, and immediately he needed something like this, and then he actually made quite a good video, and I posted on our Slack channel. So please go ahead and check it out, everyone.
Sounds great.
Okay. Any other comments? If not, thank you everyone for joining. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.